It does seem springy out today, doesn't it? I mean, with the sun shining, and it's not all that warm, but it wasn't windy like it has been so much
Yeah.
lately.
And I've been hearing the birds in the morning.
Oh, yeah. And there's like a family of squirrels. There's like 4 of them. And I can lay in bed. I get up because kitten paws at the blinds, and they're aluminum. So of course they make noise. So I have to get up and let her, I open the blinds so she can look out. And then I can lay back down with Confi. He likes to cuddle. And there's like these squirrels, and there's like a maple tree out one window and a maple tree out the other window, and they just have the best time playing and chasing each other and running up and down those trees, and they run circles around the tree. It's just hilarious to watch them. They're out there all year round, but they've just been having a great time. They're one of my totem animals. Squirrels are good for grounding. So they make a good totem animal for people who need to ground. And anytime I'm driving down the street and a squirrel crosses my path, I know that they're telling me to slow down and ground. So speaking of grounding, that's what we'll do next. So happy Wednesday, middle of the week. Just take your hands into Bhu Mudra with your first 2 fingers, so your index and second fingers. Oh, I know what I wanted to do with you tonight. Oh, maybe it's too late to prepare for that. I was going to do a candle meditation. Do you all have a candle fairly, just raise your hand if you can. If you have a candle fairly close by that you can use for tonight for candle meditation, okay, that's awesome. I don't have my taper candle down here. I had it in my bedroom to use it there, but I have my other one. I'll just make do with that. So that's great. So we'll get to that later on in the class, because we've never done a candle meditation on Zoom. So it's good that you each have your own candles. So all right, hands back into Bhu Mudra. Just release anything that you want to release out through your fingertips. Now, I've been seeing in some of the channeled material that gets posted on YouTube that a lot of people are experiencing some of the symptoms of ascension, like the last 3 nights. People have been having trouble sleeping, feeling tired during the day. So if you think of that, if you're experiencing that and you want to release the symptoms, you could do that if that is appropriate in your personal experience. The Schumann resonance has been very high. It used to be 7 or 8. It's been rising steadily for a few years now, but it's up to like 45. But the person channeling said the intensity of it, we should multiply that 45 times 3. The Schumann resonance is like the heartbeat of the earth. So we feel that. Some people who are sensitive feel that, and that can make you feel like your energy is disrupted. So we'll just let all of that settle and come to our peaceful, loving selves. Bring your attention to your breath. Just connect with how it's going. And check in with your physical body. You've already spoken of some sensations that you've noticed, but just do a little scan and see if there's anything else that you need to bring opening to. And then we'll just open our hands and turn our palms upward and breathe a deep breath. We'll start our attunement to breath. Moving with the breath. Just repeat a few times. And this time, as you bring your arms down, just bring your palms in front of you and lean forward. Just stretching forward. And while we're down here near the ground, once again, our quotation is by Rosemary Gladstar. That's a great name, Gladstar. Positive. She says, the plants have enough spirit to transform our limited vision. And then we'll just lift back up. Bring our arms around to the back. Now draw your shoulder blades closer together. Lift in your torso. And bring in an arch to your back. Be sure to elongate and stretch up in your spinal column. You can take your head back or not. If you do, that helps to open the throat chakra. All right, and we'll go once or twice to each side. So just breathe your right arm overhead or next to your ear, really, and come over to your left and breathe it up, reach, lift up and over. And pause here, just stretching and lengthen in your side. Now circle around in that upper arm, in your wrist, and reverse direction. And then reach once again. Now release your legs. Just bring both knees together. Come onto the forearm of your left arm. And bring your legs so that they're pretty much in a straight line from your torso. And then press down on your arm and just lift your hips up into an arch. And breathe. Now lengthen your legs all the way out. Just stack your feet, or you can place one in front of the other. And same thing, just lift up onto that forearm. Lift your hips up and down. Lift and down. And one more time. I have to move my sleeve here. And we'll lift and we'll hold for 2 or 3 breaths. Lift up into your arch. And then soften your knees, bring your feet towards your hips and press up. And just cross your legs the other way, if you remember how they were the first time. And then breathe your left arm up towards your ear, reach up tall, and come over to the side. Up, breathe, and over. Breathe, and over. Come onto your forearm, and reach. Okay, now just lift up, lift both legs and bring thighs and knees together. And then bring your right arm, the forearm, so that it's in alignment with the short end of your mat. Arm is still up. Bring your legs so that your knees are, your thighs and knees are straight in line with your torso. And so your heels are closer to your hips. And then we'll take in a breath and lift our hips up into an arch. Reach through your fingertips and lower down. Breathe. Lift. Arch. And again, reach. And down. Now we'll straighten our legs out completely. We're still on that right arm. So firm up the muscles in your legs and reach, take in your breath and lift your hips up into an arch and down. And 2 more. And this time we'll come up and we'll hold. Nice and long, reach. And then lower down. Bring your knees in. And just come into center for a moment and circle around in your shoulders. You may have felt that in your shoulders. So we're just going to loosen them up. Maybe we warmed them up enough that we can move out any toxins or tension from the shoulders. Our computer area, sometimes we hunch in our shoulders. Okay, now we had our elbows bent before, but we had weight on the forearms, so we'll just bend and straighten here to loosen up. Now, if you're able to get into half lotus, get my clothes arranged here. Half lotus or full lotus. I'm not sure what you've been doing, but if you're able to, we're just going to work our arms and shoulders a little bit more. So bring your legs into easy pose or half lotus, full lotus, whatever works for you right now. And then bring your hands by your hips. I like to bring my thumbs slightly under my hips so that my palms are right under my shoulders, and just press down on your hands as though you want to lift yourself up. If you're able to lift up off the floor, fine, go ahead. Just reach up. I'm going to have to reach out a little further to make room for my legs, and just lift up. And down. Press. And down. Another way to do this is if you have a couple of yoga blocks, you can place those under your hands and press down and lift yourself up. Then you really come up off the floor. All right, so one other thing that we can do before we come up into standing is, if you still have your legs in easy pose or half lotus or full lotus, press up onto your knees, walk your hands forward, keep your knees and legs in position, and just walk your hands forward and stretch in your hips as you let your hips come forward. I'll turn sideways, or I'll try to. Here, I'll come all the way down so you can see what I mean. So we just lift up and walk your hands forward and let your hips rest forward. So you're getting a nice stretch in your, some of it's in your thighs, your hip joints, low back. And then come out of it. And you can let your legs out. Unfold. And then just lengthen your legs out behind you. And let your knees down. Now repeat that stretch, allowing your hips to relax forward. Engage your hip muscles, your glutes, to protect your low back, and stretch away from your knees. And then breathe, lift your shoulders up towards your ears, squeeze your shoulder blades together and then pull them down. So circle around a little bit. And then reverse. This really helps your shoulders. You don't make a big circle, but you're really using your arms and shoulders, and it brings the heat in to stretch. And then just relax into the arch. And then we'll pull back into puppy stretch. Stretch out your arms and shoulders. And we'll come forward once again. Let your hips come forward. Pull away from your knees. Hips are engaged. Breathe your shoulders up towards your ears. Pull them back and down. Let your elbows bend and bring your hips down onto the ground into your cobra pose. So reaching up. And then pull back into puppy. Just kind of wiggle shoulders side to side. And then down. All right. Now, before we get up off the floor, let's come into a spinal rock and press up into half shoulder stand. So holding on to the back of your legs, just rocking forward and back. Give yourself a little massage. You can also rock on the side of your back. Really helps to open the spinal column. All right, next time we'll kick up into our half shoulder stand. See if you can come up a little higher on your shoulders. Watch out for your hair. And then just flex your palms and allow your hip bones to relax right in the palm of your hands. Allowing gravity to pull the blood up your legs instead of your heart having to do all the work. And then just shake your legs. Shake those organs right back into place. And if you want, it's optional. You can bring your legs overhead down into plow pose. If they feel a little tight, we haven't stretched the back of our legs yet, just bend your knees and bring them over towards the sides of your head. And relax. Some people, their knees reach the floor in this position, but it depends on different things like flexibility in your back and also the length of your torso and the length of your legs. So now just work with stretching out your legs if you're in plow. Press your heel away. And then lift your legs back up into half shoulder stand and circle around in your ankles. All right. And then just bend your knees toward your forehead. Bring your arms down and lower your body down. Lift your chin, lower your torso down. Just reach up with your legs. Take them out to the side for a passive stretch. And then some crisscrosses, just to bring some circulation in. All right, and then kick up into sitting. Now, if you were in plow, we'll want to do a fish pose as a counter stretch. So we'll lay on our back. Bring your elbows under your body. Stretch out your legs. Your feet are flexed in fish pose, Matsyasana, but the legs are relaxed. So we lift up onto our forearms, arch in your back. Take your head back and just reach for the floor. Just touch the floor, no weight on your head. This is good for shoulders too. Open the shoulders here. Relax your legs, but keep your feet flexed. Touch the floor. So all the work's being done in your arms and shoulders. Now just draw back up, round your back, bring your chin towards your chest. Separate your elbows and roll down. And a mini Shavasana. Remove your arms and turn your palms up. Stretch out the back of your neck. And just relax and feel the energy that you've created in your body. All right, and one more. Bend your knees, bring your feet in, bring them outside of your hips and reach for your ankles. And then just bring your knee down in center to stretch your thigh. Bring it down towards the floor. And just notice if your thighs feel a little tight. Breathe really well and direct the breath into your thighs. Now this time, release both knees. So they're pointed upwards. Hold on to your ankles and allow your knees to fall in towards each other, your knees and thighs. Separate your feet a little more if you need to, and allow your knees to come down. They won't come down to the floor. Generally, most people don't, but I suppose there's always one in every crowd, right? And then stretch your thighs in. Gets just a little different area of the quadriceps. And then bring both knees in. You can get pretty close to the floor. And now draw your low back down, let your knees come up. Lift your feet, we're going to kick up. And now we will come up, but take your time because you've been down close to the earth. Come down and then come up into standing, get comfortable in your clothes. Things get shifted around when you're moving around down there on the mat, right? Okay. Come into a sturdy Tadasana. Connect with the earth through the soles of your feet. Just wiggle your toes, drum your toes, like you know how you drum your fingers on the table, just drum your toes on the floor. You go both directions. Okay, and then take in a breath and just bend your knees. Breathe, arms out to the side and lift up overhead into chair pose. Take your arms back, press back to open the shoulders, reach up out of the shoulder joint. Good, I can see your arms, good. Jeannie. All right. Now just take your left leg back into warrior one. Reach up, breathe, and stretch down a little deeper. Really open up that hip in the front, your hip flexor, and then breathe it up and pivot into warrior two. Find your alignment. Bring the back foot in a little bit, turn your palms up and pivot back into warrior one. And just lower down. Bring your fingertips or your palms down onto the mat. Step it in and soften your knees. Separate your feet a little bit. Arms at your sides, knees are bent. And breathe, arms up overhead into chair pose. Reach. Shift the weight over to your left foot and reach your right leg back. Align your hips and shoulders. Reach up. Deepen your pose as your body allows. Breathe and reach. And then pivot into warrior two. Deepen your pose, just relax into the stretch. Bring the back foot in an inch or two. Turn your palms up and pivot back into warrior one. The back heel lifts. Reach for the floor. Stretch that back heel down just to stretch your calf. And step it in. And breathe, reversing your swan dive. Bring it up and down. All right. Now from here, just with your palms in Anjali Mudra, take in your breath. shift the weight over to your right foot and lift your left knee up. Focus on a spot. Lift it up. If you wish, you can bring it into tree pose from here. Bring your branches up if you want. Be careful you don't move too quickly. Bring palms together and bring it back down. Shake out your legs. Okay, taking a breath. And shift the weight over onto your left foot and lift your right knee. Focus on a spot, just gazing at a spot. And if you wish, you can bring your leg into tree pose. And then release and come back down. Breathe, arms up overhead. And swan dive forward, open and down. And just hang in ragdoll for 1 or 2 breaths.
All right, now just bend your knees and reach for your candle if you have it near you. Light your candle. Come into sitting.
In easy pose, half lotus pose, or full lotus. Just have your socks, blanket, bolster, whatever you need ready for your Shavasana, because we'll go from a short candle meditation into Shavasana. If you want to bring your hands into a mudra, you have your Bhu Mudra for the root chakra. You have your Yoni Mudra where you interlace pinky finger, ring finger, and second finger, and then bring the palms towards each other. Index fingers touch, thumbs pull back, and you have your Yoni, which is appropriate for the Pisces season, second chakra. Third chakra, of course, is Raja. That's where you take your second fingers and bend in your knuckles, thumbs touch, you come into solar plexus. Heart chakra, open into Padma Mudra, the lotus flower. Throat chakra, just turn your palms up, bring in your ring finger and place your thumb over it. And that's your mudra. Jnana is thumb and index fingers. And then crown chakra is Hikati. Hakini, that's it. The dome. So whatever chakra you want to work with during your candle meditation. Just focus on the flame for a few breaths with your eyes open. If your eyes seem to dart off to one side or the other, there might be a little tension stored in your eyes. Just close your eyelids and look up and go side to side. And you can repeat if you need to. And then once again, focus on the flame with your eyes open. And then close your eyes and observe if you see the flame in your mind's eye, imprinted there by the candle flame. If not, just use your imagination and imagine how that flame looked when you were staring at it. Just come to your loving self. Loving yourself. If the candle flame in your mind's eye goes away, just open your eyes for a moment, focus on the flame with your eyes open, and then close your eyes again. Now release your mudra. Move your candle so that when you come out of Shavasana, you don't tip it over or get hurt in any way. Just want to keep yourself safe. Just come down onto your back and relax in Shavasana. Thinking about love and joy. And maybe your candle flame is still there. You can use it now if you like and continue on. Relax totally and completely. Now, just as the flowers start to poke through the earth towards the sun's light, think of how you moved through your yoga poses and stretches and breathing, blossoming and blooming your own self as a flower. And now start to wiggle your stems and leaves, your sprouts, and then bring your feet together and lift your knees to your chest. Come in for a final stretch. And then come back up into sitting. Bring your hands into the mudra that you want to use to balance your chakra. And then remembering our quotation, The plants have enough spirit to transform our limited vision. Beautiful spirits. And see your own flowering spirit. How you've grown. How you reach towards the sun's light. Enlightenment. Empowerment. And sovereignty. So just bring your palms into Anjali Mudra now. In closing, may your blossoming and blooming be bountiful, bountiful and beautiful. Namaste, everybody.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ah, yeah.